and you don't know what you're missing. Have you driven a Ford? Driven a Ford? Have you driven a Ford? Hey,
Why do over 35 of the world's best engineered performance cars come with Goodyear Eagle street radials exclusively? A major reason is the Goodyear Eagle contact patch, where the car ultimately meets and responds to the road. So it's no coincidence that Goodyear Eagles are the overwhelming choice of the world's best engineered performance cars. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference.
It's a new year of sports excitement on Nesson in January. The Bees are back. Catch the battling Bruins live from Boston Garden in 9 great games featuring Montreal, Buffalo, Washington, and the Islanders. Hockey East excitement explodes on Nesson with live coverage of the best college hockey in the Northeast, featuring the stars of BU, Maine, Northeastern, BC, Providence, and Lowell. College basketball swings into high gear in January with New England college basketball, the Big East, the Big 8, the Pac-10, the SEC, Southwest Conference, CAA, and much, much more. An exciting month of sports continues with quarterfinal and semifinal action of the Tucker Anthony Golf Classic. Plus, hot stove baseball, classic contest from the Red Sox division-winning season. Nesson delivers in January with live boxing, the WWF from Boston Garden, and Major Indoor Lacrosse League. A hot lineup of sports coming in January only on Nesson.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway for this afternoon's running of the All Pro Auto Parts 300. Bill Overton along with Bill Hennessy and Pat Patterson covering the pits with today's exciting race here at Charlotte, and it's been a barn burner so far. Jeff Bodine being shown as a leader under the yellow here. The 52 car of Ken Schrader, one of the stronger cars, in second place, and Dale Jarrett, the winner of the spring race, the Winn-Dixie 300, rides in third place. They've almost cleaned up the debris from young Dave Simpson's crash in turn 4. We understand Dave has been transported to Cabarrus Memorial Hospital for a CAT scan, but is reported doing just fine.
Well, here we are at lap 124 of 200. So you can see we'll be getting down to the latter stages before much longer. And the green flag flies. They come up through the gearbox once again, as you can see the green wave through the inset shot. And it's going to be a tight battle headed down into that first corner. Jeff Bodine has the high line. Moving up into the corner he goes, getting traction there in the yellow and white number 15 machine. Gets off to a good lead of about 8 car lengths over Kenny Schrader's number 52 automobile. 2 car lengths farther back. Now make it 1 to Dale Jarrett. Jarrett closing very smartly over in the third corner.
Tommy Houston was trying to stay in the same lap with the leaders and raced Bodine, but lost the position and is now dropping back. But look at the brothers Waltrip racing each other for 4th place. Michael Waltrip and the sponsors of the races car number 14, the All Pro Auto Parts entry. It's an Oldsmobile, and that is none other than who? Mike Waltrip, and his brother Darrell right behind him.
Well, I had the pleasure of going to the All-Pro barbecue last night. Chuck Ryder, of course, was there. He had his driver, Mike Waltrip, who said he was looking forward to a victory. And, whoa, we have a very much off the pace Darrell Waltrip in the Exxon car, number 17, dropping down on pit road, evidently with some unexpected problems here as he glides down to a stop at his pit stall.
Darrell Waltrip's problems are going to knock him right out of contention for this race as we see Bill Elliott back in. Bill has had problems all day long in and out of the pits, and it hasn't been a pleasant day for Bill Elliott. Jeff Bodine, Ken Schrader, and now Dale Jarrett make up the top 3. And lap car of Tommy Houston right behind him.
Excuse me, Bill Schrader has reeled in the Jeff Bodine automobile to make it just a nose-to-tail scenario as they work it down across the corner or off the exit of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. About a 1 car length separation. Dale Jarrett looking on from a very comfortable seat in third. And he would like nothing better than to make it a sweep here at Charlotte this year. Right now appears to be in good position to do so.
129 laps are now in the books. 129 laps have been recorded on the 200 lap event today. Bill Elliott slowing down, riding on the apron of the track.
The as hard as these two drivers are working right now, their day isn't going to be over when this race ends. They're going to have an hour or so of dialing in with their Winston Cup cars when the entire field for tomorrow's Oakwood 500 will take to the Speedway, and you're going to see a lot of working going on. We'll be back with more from the Charlotte Motor Speedway after these messages.
Remember when movies were 50 cents, hamburgers a quarter, and you could put a nickel in the jukebox and listen to this? Atlantis Direct Marketing presents Jukebox Jive, one of the greatest treasuries of rock and roll memories ever put on 2 albums. Remember Danny and the Juniors. Jukebox Jive, a fabulous 2-record collector set with every original song performed by the original artists. This deluxe 2-record treasury is an exclusive TV offer and is not available anywhere else at any price. Order your copy of this exclusive 2-record set now and have the greatest Jukebox Jive hits of rock and roll for your own. Here's how to order yours.
Call 1-800-441-4343 or send $14.95 for LPs or cassettes, $16.95 for CD, plus $3 shipping to Jukebox Jive, P.O. Box 2001-SC, Murray Hill Station, New York, New York. This fabulous collection of 20 great original hits is like having a jukebox in your own home. Order now. That's 1-800-441-4343.
I described the Bees by hosting the pregame, the postgame, the between periods breaks, as well as Bruins Weekly. I've seen all the highlights. I've seen the Bees at their best. They have bullseye accuracy. They're all business, breathtaking, barbaric, boisterous, baffling. And they're back on Nesson.
New England college basketball continues right here on your New England Sports Network as the Hartford Hawks tangle with the Northeastern Huskies. Wednesday, January 11th, live at 7:30.
We're glad you're with us today here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hill Overton, Bill Hennessy, and Pat Patterson bringing you to All Pro Auto Parts 300 and watching Jeff Bodine as he continues to lead this event, working through turns 3 and 4 of the Speedway at the present time.
Jeff Bodine coming up now on Rusty Wallace, who has fallen back. Rusty going to be overtaken by Bodine. But meanwhile, Jack Ingram out of Asheville, North Carolina, the numerous national champion of this division, comes down the pit lane, obviously for service, though he's going behind the wall.
Well, that hard left-hand turn is always the heartbreaker, and certainly the Iron Man, as he's affectionately known as, Jack Ingram from Asheville, parking it for what would appear to be the day in the All-Pro 300.
Well, Bodine and Schrader, your leaders here, we have had no tire problems here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tire wear is reported excellent for these Busch Grand National cars. So the only question coming up on the pit stops will be fuel. This segment of the race, about 147 miles in length, and 147 miles is just a little too long to stretch it for fuel mileage. These cars will get about 100 to 110 miles on a tank of fuel. So it'll be interesting to see when these drivers will stop. Now, it has been reported that a number of drivers have already made their stop while the yellow was out a short while ago, and in doing so, say they can go the distance.
Well, these automobiles being lighter should be able to get a little more mileage, and of course the lighter weight is another attribute for getting better tire wear than their big brothers in the Winston Cup division are likely to get out here tomorrow. Jeff Bodine continues to look strong and smooth in that automobile, as one of our better looking race fans is looking on here today.
Fuel could be a question mark here. Pat Patterson is pit side, talking with a number of the crews to find out just how far they can go and what they anticipate.
Well, gentlemen, the story down here on the pit road is going to develop between the Bodine car and the Schrader car, and this may be the equalizer. Bodine says he's going to be able to pit about lap 180. However, Ken Schrader's pit has reported to us that he's going to have to pit on lap 173. So it may come down to that final pit stop, and gas mileage may be the deciding factor.
Sure sounds like that the Schrader car is not getting the mileage that Bodine's is. Bodine is managing to stretch his to lap 180, which would bring him within 20 laps of the checkered flag, while the Schrader car is going to fall about 7 laps shy of that, supposedly pitting on about lap 173.
They're continuing to move smartly around the Speedway. At this particular point, we don't see anyone making any bold moves.
This has not been a good day for Bill Elliott. Elliott being seen passed by the 2 front runners there and falling back. He is several laps down to these 2 front runners here this afternoon. His V6 Ford just not up to snuff out of turn 4. Coming back to the stripe, these 2 drivers certainly have put on the show. They've dominated the race since the green flag earlier today. It'll be interesting to see who's going to go into victory lane a little later on as the rest of the field comes by our speed camera in turn 4, just above the tunnel here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And speaking of the Speedway, make plans to be here in 1989. Be sure and call the ticket office, get your tickets, and get yourself some good seats, and come and see one of these events here at Charlotte. It's a full week of activities next May here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Down the pit lane.
And let's move down to Pat Patterson for this call in the pits.
Ken Schrader is going to bring his machine in. It'll be a gas-only stop as they've got to get the gas in and down very quickly. Good stop for Schrader. Just enough fuel to get down and get back around this circuit another 19 times.
Big Henry Benfield, the gas man, was able to get the nozzle in there, get him 10 gallons of gas or so in, and send him on his way. And let's see where he comes up. Now, Bodine has decided to come in. We thought he was going to go a little later and make his pit stop. He has now decided to make it as Schrader is coming back on the track. So Jeff Bodine is in the pits here as we see Schrader going down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Bodine has his fuel, and it's a drag race for him on the pit lane as Schrader moves out of turn 4.
Your split screen, of course, showing the 2 automobiles very closely as pulling out onto the Speedway now is the Jeff Bodine car. Here comes Ken Schrader in the white number 52 machine. Let's see if Emma can catch up to and get even with Bodine, who appeared to have a little quicker pit stop than did Kenny Schrader.
He had a much quicker pit stop, as you can see it on the split screen, and a lot of times those pit crews do not get the credit that they deserve, but there was a case where Henry Benfield was ready, got him fueled and got him back out, and it's the distance there of about 4 seconds on the track. Actually, 3.5 seconds difference between the 2 front runners at the present time.
While 3.5 seconds might sound like a very small time interval, it translates to quite a bit of distance on the Speedway. In this case, probably 150, 200 yards.
Bobby Hillen, who is now up front, I believe he inherited a lead here at Charlotte. Hillen is now running in the front position following the pit stops by the 2 leaders. And Hillen is covering quite a bit of ground here. A speed of about 168, 170 miles an hour equals about 280 feet a second here at Charlotte.
Well, the youngsters had a good run today in that number 81, the yellow and white car that's filling your screen at this moment. Bobby Hillen, a man certainly to be heard from for a long time in the future, still in his early 20s, and has a lot of driving talent, and you're going to hear a lot of things from him. He's already a star with the Miller High Life team on the Winston Cup Tour.
He's up behind Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton motioning by. The yellow flag comes out. Robbie Moroso's in second place, and with the yellow on the track here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Bobby Hillen's going to duck into the pits. We understand that Robbie Moroso has already made his stop and will stay on the track, Hill Overton.
That might just be an omen of things to come as we see debris being shown on your camera, actually on your screen by our camera, right at the exit of the pit road. Yellow waves here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll be back with more from the All Pro 300.
This is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks on the road. And this is how a Ferrari Testarossa looks to the road, where it ultimately responds through the contact patch of its Goodyear Eagle tires. The exclusive tires chosen by Ferrari for every Testarossa sold in America. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference.
If you're a sportsman, you've dreamed of stalking big game, hooking the trophy fish, taking the clean shot. It's an experience that everyone dreams of. Now, Sportsman's Video Warehouse takes you there with these action-packed hunting videos. How to Hunt White-tailed Deer takes you along on exciting rifle hunts. Learn mock scraping, tracking, and how to read signs. Hunting from a tree stand, and stalking in various habitats and seasons. Pick up valuable tips and secrets from the experts. And deer hunting, which brings together bow hunting experts Bob McGuire and Noel Feather for advanced whitetail hunting techniques. Ensure your success with expert advice on scouting, setups, mock scraping, and how to hunt the wind. Climaxing with a buck harvest. To order these top-quality hunting videos, call Sportsman's Video Warehouse at 1-800-648-4835. Have your Visa or MasterCard standing by. That's 1-800-648-4835 for quick delivery for this hunting season. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hill Overton, along with Pat Patterson down in the pits. I'm Bill Hennessy, bringing you the conclusion of this exciting race, the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Young Robbie Moroso being shown in the lead. He stayed on the track while everybody else made a round of pit stops, either during that caution or prior to that caution. He made his back on the first segment of this second half of the race. Something we want to remind you of is we're at lap 189, set to go green. Look at Darrell Waltrip pull up behind Tommy Houston. Jeff Bodine sits in second place. Kenny Schrader is third.
Everyone now is going to be looking very eagerly to see if young Rob Moroso can keep the number 25 car out on the point, or will he have his doors blown off by a gentleman who's a hot shoe all day long. That, of course, is Jeff Bodine. And right behind him, Ken Schrader, capable of doing the same thing. They come up through the gearbox as the green flag flies. Rob Moroso leads them off into the first corner as the field now comes up to full song in turn number 1.
Robbie Moroso, can he hang on and can he win on a super speedway here in this All-Pro Auto Parts 300? Tommy Houston is tussling, even though he's several laps down with Jeff Bodine. It will give Robbie Moroso, this young 20-year-old driver, the opportunity to try to stretch an advantage over the second-place driver. Of course, Robbie Moroso's, well, we're going to crash down the back straightaway. Rick Mast into the inside wall on the restart. Rick Mast in car number 22, who was several laps down, has crashed to the inside retaining wall, and now a blown engine on the 44 car, Sterling Marlin. So plenty of action here, bringing out a yellow flag. At Charlotte, we see a view of Rick Mast moving around inside the 22 car. He's waiting for the field to slow down before he gets out. He certainly doesn't want to climb out right now, that's for sure.
Well, the A.G. Dillard Buick took a pretty hard shot against that inside retaining wall, as you see on our slow motion replay, as Rick skids to a stop down toward the third turn down on the inside apron. Now, each lap that Rob Moroso...
We're showing it again here, Hill. He loses the car, gets down in the marbles on the inside, hits the inside retaining wall with quite a wallop and skews down to the apron of turn 3.
As I was saying, each lap that Rob Moroso can run under caution now plays to his advantage, because that's one less lap he has to keep the car out front in green under green flag conditions. And who knows how long. There's Rick Mast. You see him walking gingerly from his car to the ambulance, so evidently he's A-OK.
It's mandatory that if you make contact with a wall or another car in a hard collision in NASCAR, that you take a mandatory ride to the track infield hospital, and that's where he's going right now, but he's okay. One lap to go before we go back to green flag racing. This will be a shootout here in the conclusion of this All-Pro Auto Parts 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Young Robbie Moroso follows the pace car, the Oldsmobile, through turn 1 now. We'll go through turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Shadows falling here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Bobby Hillen trying to pull back up to get into position. This will be a shootout among those drivers, and right now it's Moroso in 25, Bodine in 15, Schrader in 52. Those two drivers have been in contention all day long, and they head down the back straightaway. Moroso right now has got to be feeling some butterflies and doesn't even want to look into the rearview mirror and see those two cars looming up behind. Two seasoned veterans are now putting the heat on this young Busch Grand National driver.
would have to imagine right now that these leaders, those are the cars on the outside row, would like to think that the gentleman down on the inside would move away a bit and give them room to race, because it's coming down to the final stages of this one, and they don't want to be dueling with a car that's a lap or more in arrears. However, you got to look at it from the standpoint of the gentleman on the inside. They want to get back and regain a lap, so they're probably going to stay right up in there. But it's Rob Moroso out front as they motor off into the first corner. A big battle with Bodine. Bodine trying to get around, but has slower traffic there in the form of Tommy Houston that he's moving by.
As I came through the first of the two double dog legs, you saw him kick up a lot of speedy dry compound, which could play a factor here. It'll make the track very, very slick here for the next lap or so. Robbie Moroso has a 4-car length advantage, but here comes Bodine. Bodine, the bear now, bearing down on Robbie Moroso. Out of turn 4, they're coming back to the stripe. Moroso should lead this one. Bodine trying to reel him in. Schrader sitting in third place, and Bobby Hillen rides fourth.
Back in the first corner they come. It's still young Rob Moroso showing about a 2, maybe 2.5 car length advantage over Jeff Bodine, the seasoned veteran from Chemung, New York. Bodine trying to reeling it down the back chute, and now pulls up to a half a car length in turn number 3. The rest of the field battling about 6 or 8 car lengths farther back.
The battle for third between Hillen and Schrader. Schrader and Hillen coming up heads of each other at the start-finish line, neither one of them wanting to give an advantage to the other. Hillen on the low line on the racetrack goes into third place here. But Robbie Moroso running for his life, running for the checkered flag, running for that glory that awaits someone, and victory lane takes it into turn 3 with a 3-car length advantage, in which Jeff Bodine is shortened down to 2 car lengths now. And coming back to the stripe, it'll be Robbie Moroso.
Driving the race of his young 20-year-old life is Moroso, amazingly staying out in front of that strong, seasoned Winston Cup veteran, Jeff Bodine, who himself always noted as a charger, but Jeff not able at this point to pull up and around young Moroso, who's really getting the job done in that number 25 Buick automobile.
The only time that Moroso has led, he took up the lead as everybody made their pit stops under the last caution. So he has only led this portion of the race. He bobbles a little bit in turn 4 up against that outside retaining wall.
And they've just taken the white flag for the final lap in today's All-Pro Auto Parts 300. They're in turn number 1 for the last time. It's do or die now for Jeff Bodine.
And young Robbie Moroso hold off the seasoned veteran as they head into turn 3. There is a margin of 3 car lengths. Bodine takes it down to within 2 car lengths and is going to try to make a bid out of turn 4 if he can, but looks like Moroso will hold him off as he comes through turn 4. They're coming to the stripe hill.
Moroso with 5-car length advantage, and he has the checkered flag. He's won the big one, the biggest win of his young life. The 20-year-old speedster from Connecticut has won the All-Pro Auto Parts 300.
Our congratulations to young Robbie Moroso, 20 years old, and he has beaten the seasoned veterans of the Winston Cup ranks, receiving congratulations from second-place runner Jeff Bodine. Moroso, he's got to be happy, he's got to be excited. He'll be greeted by crew chief Steve Bird. We understand that the Goodyear Eagle Driver of the Race Award will go to Robbie Moroso. So Goodyear will be sending a check for $1,000 in his name to the Grand National Racing Wives Association. It will be very good for them to receive this amount of money for a very good cause. The crowd goes crazy. They're cheering car number 25, Robbie Moroso, as he drives his car to victory lane. He came from the back of the grid after missing the driver's meeting this morning at 10 o'clock. He was working on his car because it was crashed yesterday in one of the final rounds of practice for this division. The top 5, Robbie Moroso, your winner, Jeff Bodine second, Hillen third, Schrader fourth, and Darrell Waltrip brought his car home in 5th place. He also missed the driver's meeting. We'll be back with more and a victory lane interview in the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 in a minute.
Saturday morning, USA. Time to change your oil to this.
Go with the flow, Superflow.
Superflow motor oil from Exxon.
People who know, go Superflow.
Hey, this Superflow is great stuff for blocking wear. Its wear band additive gets deep inside your engine and actually coats the moving parts.
Protects your engine's performance and it shows.
Look, want your engine to last?
Go with the flow. Super Flow.
Why do over 35 of the world's best engineered performance cars come with Goodyear Eagle street radials exclusively? A major reason is the Goodyear Eagle contact patch, where the car ultimately meets and responds to the road. So it's no coincidence that Goodyear Eagles are the overwhelming choice of the world's best engineered performance cars. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference.
Cam Neely, combining strength with finesse. In the 1987-88 season, the All-Star totaled more than 40 goals and led the Bruins in power play goal scoring. Cam Neely is hockey's prototype right winger. Ray Bourque, winner of 2 consecutive Norris trophies, an NHL All-Star in each of his 9 seasons. He's one of only 7 defensemen with more than 200 career goals. Ray Bourque is hockey's best defenseman. Cam Neely and Ray Bourque together on this personally autographed limited edition print.
Hey, nice wrist shot.
To order your 2-foot by 3-foot personally autographed poster, send a check or money order for $19.95, payable to the New England Sports Network. Neely Bourque Poster, Post Office Box 637, Kenmore Station, Boston, Mass. 02215. Massachusetts residents must include 5% sales tax. Canadian orders, please include $3 to cover shipping and handling.
It's a joyous occasion here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as the winner, Robbie Moroso, climbs from out of his car. Dick Moroso, his father, congratulating him there. He's in victory lane. A cold shower. He's got to be happy. Congratulated now by Steve Bird, his crew chief, on his second victory.
A great crowd of 79,100 has seen some awfully fine racing here today at Charlotte.
Rob Moroso, a great run this afternoon. Congratulations on winning the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 here at Charlotte. What a tough weekend, but you fought hard.
Oh, it was. It was a tough weekend until today, you know. I missed the driver's meeting, which was, I think, turned out good for us because we started in the rear. That's the rule. If you miss the driver's meeting, you start in the rear. And then there was a wreck right where I would have been running if I had started where I was supposed to. So I think that helped me out. I might miss it again in the future.
Robbie, you got a win earlier this year in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now you come back to what is accoladed as the most prestigious speedway in America. And to win here is to be a part of a long, long history, and that's got to be special.
Well, I've always loved running here, you know, and it's a awesome, really nice track, and this is not going to sink in for a while.
Tell me about the race itself. The first half of the race, did the car perform as you wanted it to?
Well, you know, I wrecked the car late in practice last night, and the crew stayed up all night fixing it, and through the first half until the first, you know, that intermission there, the car wasn't handling. I was real disappointed how it was handling, but with that intermission, I knew my crew would be able to get a chance to get it back running good, and as you see, they did an excellent job.
Second half of the race, did you feel confident with the second half?
Oh yeah, I told the crew, and you know, they agreed that we'd pit early, which paid off. You know, we pitted early that here in the spring, and it paid off. We pitted early here today, and that just had us out there with fuel in the car towards the end, and that's, you know, I didn't have to pass as many cars because they had to go in and get gas. So we just stayed out there and hoped the tires could take me all the way.
Congratulations on being a great champion here at Charlotte.
Thanks a lot, Pat.
Hey, she want to get you a present. What an exciting race here, the All-Pro Auto Parts 300 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Another racing day draws to a close here at this beautiful facility located near Charlotte, North Carolina. A surprise winner, Robbie Moroso, in a race that's normally seen drivers out of the Winston Cup take the checkered flag. Hill?
You know, what a surprise it was to all of us to see the young 20-year-old chauffeur. He was only 20 last week, coming here, do battle with all the grizzly veterans, and come out with a win. It was a spectacle. A lot of accidents, a lot of crashes. I think the fans got their money's worth here today, Bill.
Let's invite the fans to the Charlotte Motor Speedway for an upcoming race. Maybe you can join us here in the Speedway Club. Communications and the Charlotte Motor Speedway have presented NASCAR Grand National Racing, the All-Pro Auto Parts 300. Ground transportation furnished by Southern Coach, America's foremost van and truck converter, the official vehicle of Spectra Communications.
The
This NASCAR Racing Special was brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealers. Have you driven a Ford lately? Goodyear Eagle Tires. Goodyear, because there really is a difference.